Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Well, we promised the second half of the Donna Gino Real Estate and Finance Show is going to be not quite as exciting as the big show coming up tomorrow, but it's going to be a great second half because we have Carlos Villalobos in the house.
Oh, thank you for having me.
The big game, the big game.
Big game. We can't say, believe it or not, super. You can't say that. It's
it's like a bad word on the radio. I got to pay like $6 million
so we have
if I
to call
say
it
that.
the big game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with that.
So just be careful. Yeah, we don't want to get fined.
So we're pre-big game.
Right.
But this is the second half of the show, and hopefully you like the halftime show.
Should I be punny here and say we're going to talk with one of the movers and shakers in the insurance
look
business?
at you setting it up. Okay, if you just tuned in, you're here with the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show with you every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., sharing with you what you need to know, want to know, should know about real estate and finance. You can find out more by going to donandgino.com. And you can actually click on the live streaming button. You can see us in the studio. We got live cameras. Carlos is now waving at you, too. And Carlos is our personal insurance professional. He's been part of working with us, our business, our homes, our personal
clients.
ones, our clients. A lot of our clients are using you.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I'm glad because I've been in this industry for almost 30 years now, and you're the best I've worked with.
Thank you.
You actually know what you're doing. You care about what you're doing. You update me on policy. You ask me questions. You really do. You don't just quote.
Maybe too many questions sometimes.
No, I'm okay with that.
That's good.
We've learned that. That's the difference between a real professional, because we ask a lot of questions. Like we actually ask, hey, what's your payment? Well, when people are getting a loan, a lot of people just go, interest rates are this. Well, wait a minute. How much are you going to put down? What's your goal to put down?
How long
Maybe
are you
you're
gonna be in
putting
the
down.
house?
How much debt do you have? What kind of payment do you want? How long are you going to stay in the home? All these questions are important.
What's your tax liability? I mean,
Yeah.
a million different things.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm crossing the line here, and maybe you can't call yourself this, but I'm going to say you're not an insurance agent. You're an insurance advisor. Is that fair, or is that not allowed in your industry?
It's allowed. It's not
Okay.
allowed. I mean, it just depends on who you talk to. I like to ask questions. I want to know what I'm insuring most of the time. So you can call
that
me an
important?
advisor. You can call me a questionnaire person. But that's the key, is because most people just want to know what's it going to cost me, and it's like, well, wait a minute, slow down a little bit. What are we insuring?
Right. So I like this. This is good. We're on a new trend, right? So Lisa Odom was on a couple of weeks ago, and I called her Lisa What If Odom.
Yes, we learned that, right?
Yeah, that's definitely what she
Yeah,
does.
when you do a trust, you're like, oh, I never thought about that. Didn't think about that. Didn't think about the animals. Didn't think about that. No, shoot.
Right.
Stop asking questions.
Right. And
But
so
it's
then-
important. I'm glad she does ask those questions. I'm like, dude, that would have been horrible if that. I mean, my ex would have been pissed if the cats went to somebody that she didn't like.
So that's the common denominator
Unless
here.
you didn't like the cats, then never mind.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like one.
The common denominator here is that if you're a professional and you're doing a great job, you probably ask a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going out and you're getting insurance and they don't ask any questions, if you're getting a mortgage and they don't ask any questions, if you're getting a trust and they don't ask any questions, proceed with caution.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
you just did that outside when I'm like, yeah, I'm going to rent my house. Like, well, I go, do I change my insurance? Like, well, let me ask you questions.
Oh, is that why you guys were taking
Yes,
a long
yeah,
time to get in
yeah,
here?
yeah.
You were
My-
doing
my
you were
fault.
doing an interview?
Well, no, he started it. I just
All right, and the cool thing is you can tell Carlos is just real peeps. He's a good guy. He knows his stuff, and he'll give you great advice. So I guess, I mean, the difference, I think, if you're, like I said, most, call the general, whatever, they're just going to give you a quote. But there's so much more. People get the wrong insurance or aren't insured correctly. Am I right?
Yeah, we see that all the time. It's a habit in our agency that we ask for declaration pages. We want to see what you're covered for, first of all, and then we review with the customer what they think they have. And a lot of times it's two different things. So that's where we explain and say, even if you decide to stay with your agent because you've been there with forever, we make suggestions like, hey, increase your deductible, take care of that property damage. You only have $50,000, and nowadays, there's a lot of vehicles out there that are costing anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000. And
then there's weird things too. Like I have a friend that unfortunately had a fire. And this is not like a widespread fire. This is his house caught on fire, Woodland Hills. And I talked to him about it, and I said, "Hey, what do you think you have in expenses for replacement property damage and stuff like that?" He goes, "You know what? I never really thought about the hundreds of $1,000s of stuff." He's like, "Just in clothing alone, if you have to replace your entire closet right now," he's like, "just count it." He goes, "I probably had 10 suits." He goes, "I probably had, I don't know." He goes, 50 T-shirts, 50 dress shirts, 30 sets of pants. He's like, if I have to go out and replace all that right now, it's tens of thousands of dollars.
Right, and then take it a step further. What if he has a stamp collection? What if he's into baseball cards? There's a limit on those items. So unless you have them properly insured, or a wine collection for that matter. Oh, it's all right. I have mine insured.
I'm about to say, I've seen yours.
But a lot of people don't take that into consideration. So then there's a claim, and now they're disappointed because nobody's taken the time to kind of go over it.
And then they say, my insurance sucks.
True, but
Typically.
that's always been the case in 30 years that I've been in the business.
I never thought about suits. Do you like custom suits? You have to
No, that's
clarify.
That's
It's
clothing,
all part of the
But how
number.
how do they believe you if you say I had 3 custom suits that are worth $4,000 a piece type thing?
Well, we recommend to take pictures or an inventory list, and if you do an inventory list, make sure that your agent has a copy of it, because the chances of your home and the agent's office going up in flames is pretty
Minimal.
minimal.
I guess you could also go to like J. David's and get their proof that you bought.
Yeah,
that
but then
expensive
that's a
stuff.
lot of homework. It's
Yeah.
so much easier to keep it together and just have
Yeah.
What about, I've heard of like video documenting your house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, is that a good idea?
If you can do that, that's great. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. I mean, because you forget, like right here on this desk right here. I mean, you take a picture and you go, "Oh yeah, I have this that is worth." I forgot I had that. And,
Right.
Yeah, I did that when any fires up in Stevenson Ranch ever?
I'm
Any
sorry.
fires ever up in Stevenson Ranch?
At least every other year.
Yeah,
Hey, you
no
know,
doubt.
you said it's highly unlikely for your insurance agent's office and the house to go up at the same time. Not really with you two.
Yeah, you're a block away from me.
Yeah, but we back up our system, so and we take it off premises every night.
That's good. That's funny. I didn't think about that because Carlos Villalobos' office is literally a block away from my house in Stevenson Ranch. He's
That
right
is
off the
true.
old road.
That could happen, I guess.
Yeah. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, thanks, Gino.
Master of the obvious.
I'm
Thanks,
not-
Gino.
Yeah, I'm not nervous now. No, I know I'm protected with Carlos. So on that note, I guess the moral of the story is it makes a difference of who you have your insurance with. Make sure they're asking the question. What's cool is Carlos will review your insurance, your current insurance, and see if you're properly covered or if there's other options for you. Like you said, if you're trying to cut your budget, maybe you can just raise your deductible and lower your cost. Because that's what there's a lot of trickery in there, you might not know what you're getting. You go, oh, they quoted me less. Well, maybe you're not covered as high.
Right, we run into that a lot. Sometimes people are just looking at that premium, and that's very misleading. It's like anything else. You can get a loan from Don and Gino and go get a loan from John Doe, and it may look the same, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm. We say it a lot.
You have to kind of look at it. But there's ways to save money. There's discounts that people are not aware of sometimes. New home, if you have a sprinkler system in your home, in the ceiling, there's a discount. If you're an attorney, you're a lawyer.
I was going to say license. There are a lot of licenses that
Yeah,
get you discounts.
There's
I know
just
that.
a lot of different things. Some carriers have discounts for being a public employee. So it just depends who the carrier is, what discounts they offer, because they're all different. They're not all the same. So you just have to have that conversation.
Right.
Look for ways to save money.
Well, and that's part of the questions you ask, and I like that like you said, you handle all my insurance, so you go through and it basically figure out what's best for me based on my home, based on our work, based on my motorcycles. You insure my motorcycles, my cars, everything basically.
Yeah, and situations change. So just what it's right today may not be right tomorrow.
So cost of insurance, what we're really dealing with is a cost versus benefit situation. So it's your job to optimize coverage for the least cost possible so that people can get a great value.
True, but we also want to make sure that you're insured properly. So if you do need it,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to do what you think it's going to do.
Yeah, a lot of people are confused by that. I'm quite sure.
All the time.
Where they think, and their house burns down, they don't even have enough coverage to rebuild it.
Right. Do you have extended replacement costs? So which goes over and above the dwelling amount? If so, what percent? Is it 25, 50, 75?
What about loss of use?
Also, most policies come with a sub-limit of the dwelling amount. But you can always increase that if you don't think that's enough.
Okay.
You know.
Already great information from Carlos Villalobos with Carlos Villalobos Insurance, our chosen insurance professional for us and America's Professional Resource Group. You hear us talk about a lot. So when we come back, it's gonna be a little shaky here. We're going to talk about land movement, earthquake insurance, and any of you have customized cars out there? You think you're covered. Maybe you're not.
See ya.
Gino doesn't want to be part of this. Good stuff coming up on our final segment of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Don't go away.